theme, I suppose, that came out of all three of those. The one word which all three of them kept repeating was that of ceasefire, wasn't it?
Absolutely. That was really the focus of the three men who have spoken now, that ceasefire, basically the message being that everything else doesn't really matter and can't really be implemented until there is that ceasefire. And you heard at the end of the Lebanese Prime Minister's speech this call on all of the members present to put pressure to achieve that ceasefire. Of course, that means pressure both on Israel and on Hezbollah, the two parties who are currently refusing or showing at least no signs that they're willing to compromise on a possible ceasefire. But that was really what Emmanuel Macron said, this necessity for a ceasefire. The war has to stop as soon as possible. We need a ceasefire. Another common theme was one of the implementation of Resolution 1701. Of course, the resolution, the UN resolution that put in place that blue line and this area, the border between Lebanon and Israel, where supposedly, according to the terms of the resolution, there should be only the UN peacekeeping forces and the Lebanese forces. That currently is being violated both by Israel with its incursions and by Hezbollah with its presence in southern Lebanon. And so all three men really also focused on that, saying that, yes, going back to the terms of Resolution 1701 is very important, but there needs to be more done in the way of actually getting those terms implemented, that there needs to be a focus on applying, on the application of those principles to be able to bring back peace in that area. That is really something that is going to be very hard. Of course, Israel is not present at this conference, and so far all the efforts that have been tried, for example, the one between Emmanuel Macron and Joe Biden back in September to get a 21-day ceasefire, that has failed because Israel so far is saying that they're not finished with what they want to achieve in Lebanon, that their rules of the game are not the ones that can allow for that ceasefire. And Hezbollah, even though it has been weakened, has continued striking Israel and has also shown no signs that it is willing to compromise. So these are all calls for a hopeful outcome for pressure on that ceasefire, but that ceasefire seems still to this day pretty elusive given the situation on the ground.
There was quite a lot of criticism politically as well, I noted in the speeches, particularly from Emmanuel Macron. He criticised Israeli operations in Lebanon. He said Hezbollah must stop operations beyond the blue line. He also put Iran into it, saying he regrets that Iran has engaged Hezbollah against Israel.
Absolutely, and he had this sentence. He said, "I don't believe that we can defend a civilization by reaping barbary," and that was really something that he wanted to make clear, even though he didn't direct that sentence to any party in particular. But yes, you mentioned those three elements. He said, I regret that Iran has controlled and directed Hezbollah to attack Israel. I regret that Israel is attacking Lebanon. And I regret that these 21 days of ceasefires that he had called for with President Biden were not implemented and were not agreed to by those two parties. So, yes, there has been criticism in the sense that a lot of people are not holding their breaths for the outcome of this conference. But one concrete success, at least relative success for now, is that answer to the call of the United Nations for those $426 million that they wanted to be raised to help the Lebanese population, especially those displaced by the ongoing ongoing war. Well, France has now announced through its president, Emmanuel Macron, that they would be putting up 100 million euros, so almost a quarter of that amount, the total amount that they wanted to reach. The hope, of course, is that they're not only going to reach the number asked by the United Nations, but maybe even surpass it. But France now the first official contribution with an amount that we can give, which is 100 million euros for the support of the Lebanese people, for increased humanitarian aid in Lebanon.
Thanks very much, Kethevane. Kethevane Gorjestani, International Affairs Editor there. Of course, we'll analyse it further for you, that conference.